Well, welcome to another News Game Plus. I'm Dermy as usual, and I'm here with a man who cheated on me while he was in Japan.
Here we go.
New Game Plus executive producer Jason O'Callaghan.
Oh, my only response to that is I got better taste in men.
I saw
Jack
you.
over junglist any day.
I saw you with that cute young host on the
Yeet.
podcast. I mean, and he come back here wanted to podcast with me, pretending everything's okay. I mean,
No, to be fair, okay, no. Tell the truth. You message me. So if we're going to do the 2026 avoidance,
are you turning it around on me? This is victim blaming.
Darvo.
This is, man. See, look, I get it, right? We haven't podcasted for a while, and you've got needs. So, you were away on holiday, and you met a younger, fitter, more hair host. And,
no.
I get it.
More hair on his head, but less hair everywhere else because he's a gay man after all.
Look, I really don't know how to feel. I really don't.
I mean, at least there's not someone in the chair watching from the corner, right? Like, yeah.
I was also wondering
in 2026, that's always a concern.
There's not.
Yeah, I'll say Waddle D. Kirby's really intensely watching at the moment.
Yeah. So anyway, so also you were in Japan for a little while, and
I was.
I did see while you were away there's an outbreak of the hentai virus on some kids. You've recovered from that,
and I think it's important while we're here to address the allegations that, despite what you may have heard, I was not in Fukushima on the 3rd of June
when they said there's an intelligent bear attacking people.
Yeah, did you see it? Like the actual clip? I sent it to your daughter. I'll send it to you on Facebook. But basically, you see this poor bloke run into the front yard, and this fucking black bear just chases him in, touches him up a little bit. But I'm like, it's a black bear, brother. Turn around and punch that thing in the fucking head.
Yeah. It's
well, easy. I mean, this isn't a South African podcast.
Polar bear.
I can tell you now, if I was attacked by a bear.
Anyway, no. Would you rather be attacked by the bear or the woman? Hang on, does it work for us?
Chad's line was pretty good. Ladies choose the bear, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, they do tend to choose the bear in this case, but yeah. So I hope you've left the people in Japan in
look, in better state than I arrived there. There was a typhoon. I was worried I would not make it home because there was a typhoon.
Don't they have one every week? We had an earthquake when we were there.
Yeah, I mean that's actually, I just jinxed it. I haven't had an earthquake in Japan for the last 2 trips, I think. So.
Well, when we were there was one, and the building was shaking. We were panicking, and so we grabbed the kids and grabbed our stuff and ran out. We thought, oh shit, we're going to die, and walked out. And all the people in the street, all the locals, just walk around like, it happens every day.
Well, that's the rule of anything.
I didn't see a bad one there.
If the Japanese aren't running, don't run.
Yeah, they're very durable people.
Yes,
you see why they terrorize half the world for a while.
Yeah. No, I mean, when your own country's trying to kill you, exactly.
Yeah, we thought Australia was bad, but actually, it's not really natural disasters here, other than fires. But it's normally animals. But
which it is funny with fires because obviously Australian plants need that to propagate, like they're flame propagators, so they need to
the whole country just got used to it.
Yeah,
if you can't
pretty much, the ones that went that way
and then decided to grow trees made out of literal oil.
Yeah.
Wow. Are there any animals in Japan that kill you? Like we got
bears, obviously.
Or just Pokemon.
They got bears. They've got boars. They've got deer.
Bears, yeah.
They got deer.
I thought it was just you.
No, deer will fuck you up. But deer.
We fed them and they bowed to us. They were very nice. That deer are very polite.
Have you? I mentioned in the last episode. Have you seen that clip of the guy from clearly Western Sydney? And I'm probably going to be wrong. I keep saying Western Sydney. And he's got his little 2-year-old, and the deer's looking at him, and the deer just drops its head. And instead of thinking, well, maybe this thing's going to headbutt my child, and my child's only 2, bang, just loads him up.
Bread.
Yeah, and just loads him up because he couldn't feed him, and he was a little baby, and it's like, brother, these are still deer. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's still deer. Like, deer will for years we killed them in groups because we couldn't take them on head to head, and you want your 2-year-old to anyway.
Oh dear.
Got him. But no, the other one is they got proper millipedes and yay size, half a foot long millipedes.
I'm kind of glad I didn't see any of them when I was there.
Well, the big one is
they make rib witches out of them.
Yeah, the hornets. You've got the giant hornets. I was on the plane home and I was chatting to this girl and we're talking about the things that because she'd been there for 2 months, and I'm like, how'd you find it? She goes, loved it, blah blah blah. I'm like, what? Were you surprised? She goes, the hornets. I said, it's the hornets. She came from New Zealand to Australia and it was like, I've just still never seen anything like those hornets. I'm like, yeah, they're crazy. It's they're huge.
Okay, cool. Oh well, yeah. We missed all that. We
I mean,
Yeah.
you went dead. We went dead of winter, right? So you
We
missed
just
like
saw the nice deers.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't try and we
That
got
was when I
food.
took you down south, yeah, to Kyoto and stuff like that.
Nara or something.
Yeah, which is right near Kyoto.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no. You should go back again. I'm actually back there. I'm actually there for Tokyo Game Show and then Christmas this year.
My wife's got me spending on stuff on the house. I don't have money at the moment.
Lame.
Yeah, I know. She bought a new cooktop and turned out it's an induction cooktop and
They bought you
cost $2,500 to install. I thought it just plugged in. I thought, how's it going to be? Just plug in the plug. Nah, it's not how it works. Because of course it's not. So
because it runs straight to mains. That's why. Because yeah, but it is
yeah,
funny.
that was fun to work out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so anyway, do you want to do some
Yeah, let's do some stuff.
gaming
Yeah.
stuff? Because it is
It's been
normally
it's a big
gaming
week.
podcast.
It's actually been a big week because
And I
we
have
had,
to Cringy did tell me that I have to actually be like Hussein Piker and put a shock collar on you so that if you do start talking about labor or something like that, you
I mean, we can. I don't have enough time to go into how disappointing. I mean, I'm not really disappointed in the average Australian punter. Number one, it's they're wagging the
I
dog
like
a little
punters
bit.
politics.
Well, I hate punter that punter full stop. Like he's the worst.
I knew that he'd go. But
He's the worst.
I'm going to need the shock collar. Hang on, I haven't put it on yet.
Yeah.
Wait. Where is it?
No, he's the worst. But more than that, no, like the One Nation surge, and I mean, it's all manufactured. Like let's call
It's
it.
the Yanks are astroturf.
Yes.
They desperately want.
Thomas Sewell, the anti-abortion. I'm glad
Yeah,
you picked
because
up the thread of the
how come the
anti-abortion.
anti-Semitism stuff hasn't touched on
Yeah.
the actual Nazis yet?
Yes.
That's a bit
I
weird.
mean, it's crazy, right? Like,
It's almost like that's not what they're worried about.
yeah, and the Muslims can't get a word in, and I'm like, yeah, look, I don't know. It's clearly an astroturf, and it's clearly us.
It's the Yanks.
Yeah,
It's the Yanks.
absolutely.
They want it done. They want it done while Trump's in
Yeah.
because he's just the front man for
Yeah.
the smash and grab.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's
Yeah.
do games.
Yes,
So
sounds good.
been a while.
Well, it was Summer Games Fest this week, so we had a PlayStation State of Play, we had the Keeleys, and we had the Xbox.
Xbox
I
25.
did watch Xbox 25 this morning, so
Well, okay. Let's go straight into that
Yeah,
because we got a new Xbox limited edition green. What do we call it? Series X.
yes, Series
Which
X.
is basically
It's like the see-through green of the. I don't remember.
wasn't it a Halo tie-in
Yes,
originally?
it was. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And it's very early 2000s of that era. Like it was, look at this cool manufacturing technique we have. How do we leverage it?
Everything was see through.
Right.
The old Emacs was see through. The Nintendo stuff was see through.
It was EMAG that started it, wasn't it? Surely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because that I mean that was a cool designer set. I mean, if nothing else, Apple stuff. Even
That was when Jobs came back.
even in
after
the
his hissy fit.
even in the age of monoliths, Apple stuff still looks cool. But no, the thing I would say is we are in a world of $1,000 Xboxes.
Well, that's cheap compared to a Steam Deck, but I was going to get to that later.
Right, but like to do special edition consoles, we are not in the market for special edition consoles.
I suppose that's true. Yeah.
Your prices have gone up, not down. And anyone who's already got one has already got one. You know what I mean? Like to then go, because some people would do that. They would go, I've got my launch one, and then it's like, oh, we're doing a slim special edition or a pro special edition, or we're doing some kind of special edition. The prices come down enough. I'll give my old one to brother, friend, sell it, whatever.
Or the people with several Switches. They got the Animal Crossing Switch. They got the Pokemon Switch.
And that, but I mean, that is also a byproduct of Nintendo's save technology. So that's also a different conversation as well. But I am surprised that they were doing that. It must be said, like a lot of the games, like the Halo one, they're like, oh, yeah, it's what's his name, Sergeant Johnson, like, oh, I'm the tough talker black man, and then it's like, come on, Chief. And I'm like, are they doing like a proper prequel? No, they are doing a redo, a Unreal 5 redo of the original Halo game with 3 missions added. 3 missions. And I'm like, great.
Yeah, they've disrespected Halo to a point where it's not much use anymore.
It has like, I mean, Gears has more cachet, and that's saying something.
It was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
And remember the midnight launches and stuff like that drove those. And yeah, it's easy to forget how big Halo was for the generation back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, for sure.
Just how massive. The other game that got mentioned a bit was the new Gears of War,
Yes.
which will be exclusive to
console
Xbox. So,
exclusive, so it will be on PC.
but clearly, Xbox players like to walk while shooting, and PlayStation like to run while shooting. I never like Gears of War,
Well,
but
they changed it. I don't know. The big thing they're talking about is the movement and how it's like blah blah. And I'm like,
oh, you can run now.
yeah, but well, you can jump as well.
Ooh.
The movement was part of the appeal. Yeah, it sounds weird. Like
Do I cover my head yet?
yeah. The big one with Gears is that it was always about squad tactics. And when I say squad, I don't mean like kind of proper tactics, like like an Age of Empires or something. Like, and even that's only an exaggeration. But like 4-person squads moving through, finding flanking, all that kind of stuff. And that was why when you played it on hard, it was hard because like one of your mates out of position would screw up the run. Do you know what I mean? And so you actually did have to think about it. At its core, Gears was like, yeah, it was.
Oh, it was undeniably popular when it was out.
And it was a simple mechanic of if you can flank them, you get shots of them without cover, you'll be able to put them down before they can put you down, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was a good representation of basic cover squad mechanics. And so to watch them go, oh, we need more movement. I'm like, do we need it to be Nathan Drake? I don't think we do need it to be Nathan Drake. But
that's the problem with games where every game decides it's going to be like every other game, which is going to be even worse as everybody keeps doing their games in Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
I've talked before on the podcast about how that limits what you do.
Yeah.
So Gears of War is exclusive. Halo's still not, but the announcement from, is her name Asher?
Asher Dana.
AI lady.
Yeah. AI lady.
Basically,
always Indians, right?
well, I didn't mean that, but that turns out to be true. Because you
listen to her talk, she's like that. It's the classic ABC, right? Well, not American born Chinese, but American born like Asian.
There is
like, they sound like tedious white people. Like, yeah.
Do you know there's not a single robot humanoid robot? They're all Indians or Philippines wearing VR headsets.
I believe
that's true. All robot demonstrations are faked right now. Yeah. All humanoid robots. Anyway, so she announced that exclusives will be a case by case basis.
Yeah.
So not every. So they've dialed that back, and Sony's also dialed back. They're not going to be releasing PlayStation games on PC. So
it just must not be moving the needle. Like, because everyone's like, oh, but they made like $30 million doing it. I'm like, what's $30 million to a
they could be trying to also put some pressure on Steam because Steam's under just constant attack now. They're in court again.
Yeah.
And this, like, I believe everything that's been happening for the last year or two has been targeted at Steam because Microsoft wants that so bad.
Yeah. I need it at this point.
I'm just surprised Gabe's boat hasn't been attacked by
pirates, Somali pirates,
orcas that got little Microsoft logos on them.
Yeah. So, just imagine like beluga whales with like C4 attached to it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, yeah, just drones. Microsoft should have drones by now. So they would, but the AI wouldn't work, and they just go fly off randomly and pack random things.
Yeah, just have an Indian or a Ukrainian flying them. Yeah,
yeah. The Ukrainians would be good at it. Yeah. Nothing against the Indians doing, but the Ukrainians know their drones.
Well, I think if anyone's ushered in the new age of warfare, it's the Ukrainians. Like
and the Iranians now have taken it another level. And
Iranians were always up there for that. I mean, this is the thing when you when you're defending a fortress like that. I mean, Iran's a fortress.
Yeah, it's a fortress got mountains around. But they also they did fuck up at least one aircraft carrier.
Yes,
They actually. I'm told by somebody that who knows military people that. They did fuck up one of the aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
So anyway, now what was it doing? Xbox 25, yes.
So they also showed off Fable, which actually has a release date now, and it's Haley Atwell, the chick.
Oh,
yeah, she's the main villain.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to play it now.
Yeah. And it looked okay.
She's age appropriate for me, so that's good.
The combat was a little. We did, but that was off podcast. But we found out that Halle Berry is 59, even with the work. Geez.
Yeah, I know.
Oof.
Yeah.
And
age appropriate for me as well.
Correct. Much literally the most age appropriate. But so we had Fable. There was Clockwork Revolution. There was State of Decay 3 looks sick, and that's next year. Lots of stuff in Feb, like they're front loading Feb again.
Why Feb? Feb?
So in
is that the reporting season?
Yeah. So for because it'll be 6 months after. Everyone's avoiding November. If you have a look at all the release dates,
so they're still scared of GTA 6.
No one coming out in November now. There's no way that it hasn't made its its way through the back channels. Like, do you know? Like, it sounds.
Oh, so insiders would know the
If
trajectory of
if
GTA
if
6.
you see a big manufacturer turn around and say we're releasing a game in November, you know the GTA is not coming anymore,
Okay.
and everyone will freak because if they push it back, they're only going to push it back another 6 months. But I don't know how much longer they can push it back.
It's going to be a disaster no matter when it comes out.
I
I've
genuinely
been
believe
calling
that
that
is
for a
true.
while.
Yeah,
I think
because
they're lying.
yeah, I agree. I think
Well, because simple. How long ago was GTA 5? Like they had a run from
11
GTA 3
11
to
years ago or
5.
something. Yeah,
Yeah. Now all those devs have either moved on or
yeah.
they're 11 years older,
Well, they don't
and
even have Dan Houser anymore. So yeah,
they were peak back then.
yeah,
They were got. You go back and look at GTA 5 now, and
yeah,
it's a masterpiece. It really is. The
yeah.
the coding that went into it. Those coders, those programmers now 11 years
Just
older,
gone. Yeah,
and they're going to be in management positions or some will have moved on.
yeah,
They just don't have that. I just don't see how they'll have that magic
yeah,
anymore. And look, there's going to be young programmers come in, but look, they had something special,
yeah.
and I just don't see it happening again.
Yeah, yeah, no,
But I'm happy to be wrong.
yeah,
But I
yeah. But you know, overall, the Xbox show was fine. There was enough good stuff in there to make me interested. But anyhow, I would say just the big stuff. I'm like, E-Day looks fine. Halo looks like just balls.
but they've done it in Unreal Engine. Did you know
Yes,
my son's doing a bit of Unreal Engine programming? He
yeah,
tells me it's single threaded. You can make it multi-threaded if you add your own threader, but
yes.
that I was quite surprised by that for a
So
modern engine.
yeah,
That
well,
was a bit,
it's funny too with
what's going on?
it's funny too with Unreal because I told you with RMIT they have the MOSIS system, and that's basically you can make your own whatever 3D background you want, and it will render it in real time in the room because you can track it to the
Mhm.
you map it to the points in the room, so you can walk forward and it walk as if there is a table in front of you
Yeah.
because technically as far as the rendering of the world goes there is a table in front of you. It's the same way like like old mate managed to do all the like the backroom stuff in Blender. It's the same
Mm.
thing where it just occupies that space. So yeah, no, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, look, I don't know, Xbox show was fine. The Sony show was probably I don't want to say it's more disappointing. I sound like an Xbot. I mean the problem that Asher faces is that they're making all the decisions that we all know that Bill probably wanted to make and got forced down the path of, and now we're stuck with Asher because Such is getting hammered on the other side. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like you guys would have. I don't know.
Well, they had their internal
The,
memo. Did you see that?
no, well, I'll say the tell-all Jason Schreier book will be great. I will read that for sure. But yeah, I didn't see this memo.
Oh, is he going to try and actually tell us something that anytime it matters, not like the other story that anyway. So what was I going to say? The memo, internal Microsoft memo, got leaked between all their top CEO executives and that. Basically saying that how they need to get everybody addicted, their word, to AI.
Mm,
And that's their future plans, which means they have no ideas.
yeah.
So
To be,
they should put money into Xbox
yeah,
because that's how they can make some.
it is interesting to see how pervasive it is and the levels in which people do engage with it. So I've got a mate who basically doesn't send text anymore. He just gets ChatGPT to like he'll dictate it but not read. So in the same way you'd use an old Siri, right?
Mm.
And I'm like, I feel like that's fine. If you want to talk about a use of it that's okay, that's fine. But it is a lot of bandwidth for something that your iPhone can do as it stands. Like even Siri, as dumb as it is compared to the other quote unquote AIs, can do a decent voice to
Yeah, well,
text now.
see, that's just one of AI is just a collection of technologies
Yes.
that we had, and some of them were fast tracked by the massive investment that went in. So when
Yeah.
we say AI, it's like the word cancer to use
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
crypto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's not one thing, right? And
Yeah.
that's why it's so hard to fix. And
Yeah.
AI is not one
Yeah,
thing.
there's,
We
there's
use
there's no one switch for cancer. I mean, that's always the thing. We say, oh, they're hiding the cure for cancer. Which cancer?
well, cancer the AI is similar. AI is
Yeah,
a whole heap of things, and we just group it under one term, which
yes,
makes it difficult to understand
yeah,
and difficult for people to honestly talk about because they're always talking about one part of it, not all
yeah,
the
yeah.
others. But anyway, so and some parts of AI like face recognition have been around for a very long time, and
Yo,
all they are is measuring distances between parts of
yes,
your face. So
yes. So that's why you can throw off by like having stuff tucked up your cheeks and stuff like that. If you ever
mm,
need to evade them, just put a bunch of like toilet paper stuff up under your gums because it's going to push the spaces out
yeah.
more. My passport doesn't work anymore. I've lost that much weight since I got my passport photo. My passport photo was a dog of a photo. Last 3 times I've pulled up at Melbourne Airport, I've had to do the full standard assistance.
No, really. Oh, okay.
So
There's no you're
that are unflagged. I mean,
you're an Irishman.
every time I was in Germany, every German airport, I had to stop and do the full bomb swab for all of my bags and stuff like that.
Remember those?
The curse, the Irish. Patriotic.
There's a time when they're scared of Irish.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, everyone's like, oh, why is the Irish government so strong behind Palestine? It's like, I couldn't tell you why. Can't
Yeah,
figure it out. It's a mystery. It's a mystery to us all.
I think if I think Britain got away with some stuff that other countries didn't get away with.
Yeah,
Let's just
for sure.
say, yeah, because winners write history and so on. But
Oh
anyway,
yes.
okay, cool. Now more. Is anything else on Xbox
No, no, no.
consoles?
I think that covers mainly stuff. I'm really looking forward to State of Decay. That does look sick. There was a couple of Sega showed off Persona 6 through them, and obviously it's not exclusive to them. But then, yeah, Crazy Taxi Revival. That was at the Xbox show.
Okay, I did have that down.
Yeah, I
Listed
think
down
we might
here.
have it separate, but yeah,
Yeah,
no, that was announced because I'd heard the rumors, and then
yeah,
we like,
Crazy Taxi World.
and it actually doesn't look dog shit.
It
Like,
looks great.
yeah, it looks all right.
There's a little bit of backlash because people are complaining that they obviously used AI for some parts. I think that's silly to complain about because I think where AI is used, it's a very useful tool. And saying blacklisting it is just dumb. It just depends whether it was used at the expense of
People, yeah.
people,
So
and that's really the question.
this is that hard one, right? Like you've got to balance the expectations. So a lot of the artists who now do great work and great character modeling and great all that kind of stuff started working doing backgrounds. Like everyone does their time putting bins in alleyways, right? And so how much of that grunt work is worthwhile in teaching skills? It's the same with like customer service. If you like customer service people, and it's like if you give customer service only the hard jobs and not the fun job where they help grandma fix their router, but they're only getting the ones that AI can't fix, you're already getting people who are frustrated, you're already getting people who are combative, and you've just got to talk them down off the ledge, and then you're just going to get more burn through for people in customer service roles. So it's like
Well,
you're not teaching the skills they need, or at least offering the workplace they need to
Well,
thrive.
the coding version of that is you used to get a job as a programmer and
Yeah.
you'd be doing maintenance.
Yes.
So you wouldn't be developing new functionality in
No.
a project. You would be maintaining other people's code. Now that taught you the code base.
Yes.
So you had to dig in and work out what's going on. It was quite a baptism of fire in some environments because often the documentation was out of date or non-existent. But that now you'd chuck to Claude and say refactor this. Now that you're in kind of crazy if you just do that and just rely on it. You should check it as well. But yeah, that's that argument about taking away those entry levels to become not entry levels down the track, and
Yeah.
those very important jobs that produce the skills
Yes.
required to be a good performer.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah.
You can't just go straight to
yeah.
you can't just go straight to being drafted in the AFL without having played a game of football in your life.
Yeah.
You got to do the hard shit.
Yeah. I'll say Shane Warne got put on the Australian Test team, and he was a reserve player for St Kilda. So there's some people just have it in them, but I do
I
understand.
suppose Dave Warner in cricket came out of it, but generally you have to go through the system.
Who says hobbits can't achieve?
Remember the Herald Sun had a photo of him and I think it's Elise Perry when they won, and they put him really taller than her.
He had him by like 6 inches.
Yeah, wait till the Herald Sun changed him so they look like a husband and wifey sort of photo. It's like, yeah,
that's pretty sad. That's pathetic. Like, don't get me wrong,
a bit sexist.
I feel bad for the shorties.
Women are shorter than men.
Yeah. I feel like it's so funny, right? Like I get that, and like I've had let's go down story lane. I've had a lot of girlfriends who were 5'10", 5'11", all that because I make them look short. Do you know what I mean? And that's part of the appeal. But like, brother, if you got like a girl who's interested in you and she's that, or like it doesn't even have to be that because in this situation, like, yeah, she's Elise Perry's. Is she basketball? No, she's
cricket. I think I've got the name right.
Yeah. But she's pretty tall. She's like, I think she's like 5'10" or something like that.
Yeah, she's pretty tall. Way taller than Dave Warner's like 5 foot.
Yeah. He's the Joe Rogan of cricket. And so it's just sad. I'm just like, at some point you're like, brother, like it's okay, man. Like, and I mean, of all the things, like,
see, Jason here sticking up for you, short kings.
But I do feel
he got you back. Don't worry.
There is a thing of like the first thing anyone goes for is like immutable things. So it's like for men they'll go bald or short. For women, like they'll go like small boobs or like like something like that. It'll be.
I'm gonna have to zap you soon.
No, but all I'm saying is it's a pathetic reflection of like people's insecure, and like it sucks that people are insecure about stuff. And it's like if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Maybe don't give it if you can't take it. But we all know the Herald Sun are the biggest glass straws. They can fucking give it, but they can't take it because they're useless Murdoch pricks.
I haven't even got onto the one I think will trigger you.
Okay. So anyway, moral story. The story is quickly. Crazy Taxi didn't look that bad. It looked like
it looked good.
It looked like
fun.
silly bits. And it did the modern thing.
And it will work. If they do it as an open world game, it will absolutely work
Yeah.
as a concept if they nail it. And I hope
if,
Sega
if, if they nail it and they do like a full Simpsons hit run on it, goes silly like that, and I think
well, it was Simpson run.
they can do crossovers and do like realistically, if they got like the Ferrari race, they could do an outrun. Like the chick pulls up in the big red car, like the fancy red car.
And
like,
they had Offspring.
Yeah, they had Offspring. You can do like you can do the crossovers with Outrun and Sega Rally, not Sega Rally. Well, you can do Sega Rally.
They
or
do a ton of crossovers with
Sonic.
Sonic.
Sonic. That's the one I'm getting at. But yeah, like there's ways to make it work. It looked better than I thought it would. Is all I'm going to say. And that, granted, that was only with little bits of gameplay cut into it, but it was still looked all right. I'm actually keen.
Yeah, as soon as the song started, I was happy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's Xbox 25, and I was going to touch on the Sega, the Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, we do it. So yeah.
Let's go on. Okay, now another Sega story because it makes everyone happy. So
everyone's
Sega is making a new hardware.
Yes, so a lot. It's been a good rumor
handheld.
It's been a good rumor season. All of these have hit the rumors channels before. Like none of this is new. And this is if you're that guy and you deep dive in the rumors, it's actually been a good rumor season. Some people have connections nowadays.
Sega's making a low cost handheld with cartridges.
So is this like going down the Evercade route? Or
I'll get to there in a moment. So basically, an employee of, quote, a small specialist electronics manufacturer.
Please.
No, I was kind of hoping it was one of the ones Hayden got me to decide for. Anyway, so they received a quotation request from a company that has done licensed Sega hardware before, and you can say the word.
So that's Blaze,
but not Sega directly. It is a low-cost handheld. It is an ARM processor. They had to specify it's not going to be an x86 processor. You don't get x86 processors in goddamn handhelds.
Realistically, if you're running
an ARM processor,
if you're running old Sega games, and even like there was a Samsung chip. There was a particular chipset that was uniquely good at emulating Dreamcast because apparently the die cut was the same, so like it could run the same processors or something like that. I can't remember the exact thing about it. Yeah. And so if you're going to do an ARM processor nowadays to run up to Dreamcast era easily, you could run that on a mid-tier ARM processor nowadays. Like it's not like the bad old.
Oh, you don't need.
You don't need a Snapdragon or a fucking Apple Silicon to do it.
Well, it also depends how much operating system is wrapped around it. And this is one of the reasons I hate the Android market for this stuff. But anyway, so basically, it's got a 5-inch OLED screen.
No, that's not bad.
It's got a small internal storage. It's got the game cards. There's no 3D ability in it. It's basically made for modern 2D games. What I'm smelling here is an Evercade Nexus.
Yes.
It's a special version for their Sega. They've been trying to get Sega for a while. And I can't see another company producing an Evercade style system with carts in this market. It's a hard market to work with. It's got its
Geo, right? Like that's a crazy one, but that's Saudi money behind it, so it's a different conversation.
Yeah, and they're using the original sort of carts. These are new ones. So anyway, so yeah.
Oh, so that was going to be my question. So it's not like the other ones where you could put like the Blaze Mega Drives and stuff where you could put carts in them. It's like a unique format.
The Evercades. Well, it doesn't say with this Sega leak. The Evercade is a unique cart.
It is,
and in fact, amusingly, if it does Sega carts, the connector for the carts is a Game Boy Advance connector.
Yes, it's true.
And the carts are just SD cards on a chip.
Yeah, which means that you can screw them apart and put whatever you want.
Using the first 8 pins, and if you can solder yourself together a USB to a micro SD card. Anyway. And some people that try with it, they ever feel like with the Evercade.
Yeah. I mean, and realistically, what do you lose if you fuck up one Evercade cartridge? Like whatever, it was $50 to try. You know, well, I know they're expensive.
You get it for like $30 if you wait for a month. But they are different sizes. That's the thing. You can't change the chip size. But anyway, so
because it's on the board. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There was one I saw, which is an interesting story about a game called is it Amsterdam 1666 or 1666 Amsterdam?
I don't know.
Okay, it's a new game. So some guy.
I don't pay attention to the Dutch. So.
I'm going to butcher this. So Patrice Desilets.
Spot on. Well, not spot on, but close enough. The French would not be offended. Yeah.
My Bogan Geelong. So apparently in 2010, he was working on Assassin's Creed games,
Yes.
and he said,
Everyone talks about Jade Raymond, but if you really want to talk about who, yeah,
"Fucking, I remember that." They only
everyone,
love it. They went, "Oh my girl."
yeah.
That was all that was. I was like,
And
"Calm down, guys."
that's not a reflection on her, but that was a reflection on
No, 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 nothing
the
is
community at the
it?
time. Yeah,
Oh, and the media as well, because
yeah,
the
for
media
sure.
was just as bad as
Yeah,
the and I mean they wanted to have an argument. We'll get on something about that later. They wanted to have an argument. They were just as bad. This Patrice did anyway. He was on Assassin's Creed, and he didn't want to do Assassin's Creeds
yes.
every year because
But they gave him Anno, whatever that one was.
he felt it would hurt quality. So anyway, so he got pushed out of Ubisoft.
Yep.
In 2011, he joined THQ
Yes.
and started working on a game called Amsterdam 1666.
Yeah.
In 2013, Ubisoft, who just got rid of him, purchased THQ
Yeah.
and sacked him and kept the rights to this game for what he was working on.
Of course.
And then they went to court for 3 years. In 2016, after 3 years of legal battles, he got the rights back
Yeah.
to his game. And now, after 10 years of him working on it, it's finally coming out. So
There
I'm
you go.
curious to see how they go,
Yeah.
because that's an interesting path. Now, it must have looked good at the start because Ubisoft wanted it.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they got rid of somebody. That shows the state of the publishers has been pretty rank for a long time. In 2010, they got upset with him for saying, I didn't want to do an Assassin's Creed every year because it
Yeah.
would hurt the quality, and it did.
And lo and behold, like, yeah, who would have thought, right? And because that is that thing, like, if there's an industry that really does slay the golden goose, it is gaming, even by most other standards.
That's because decisions are made by shareholders, not gamers.
Correct.
But yeah.
And so and it is interesting. Ubisoft also at the shows had Rayman. It was like, oh, cool, Rayman thing. Wait, hang on, and it's like it's Rayman Legends remastered. I'm like, oh my god.
I was going to mention that soon.
Sorry. Yeah.
Now I wrap this up. It's Amsterdam 1666. Might be worth checking out to see what the fuss was over, because at one point Ubisoft wanted it real bad.
Yeah.
And they hated the guy that made it.
Yeah. And they really
when you buy a company to sack the guy.
They really do hate Patrice Desilets.
But the only person I know that would do that if they had the money is you.
Yeah, that's true. No,
I'd make. I see you buying companies just to sack people.
I'd make them work to make them quit. Like, I'm not going to fire you.
I can see it.
Yeah, but I hope you like coding. I hope you like coding bins, because that's your job now. Yeah.
I did have mention here Rayman Legends. Rayman Legends retold on the 1st of October. I always felt that Rayman Legends is what Sonic should have been.
Yeah.
It was very varied, had a lot of 2D action in it. Actually had a really cool bit where you plays Black Betty and you're doing moves on the level, and it just works so well. Rayman. Anyone that hasn't played a Rayman game for a long time, check out Rayman Legends Retold.
And
it's well done.
Well, it's so funny with the retold. It's like, okay, the one, like, obviously Rayman.
Well, it's
Legends,
remastered. They didn't have another word, but yeah.
Whatever so like, because the platforming was great, and there was one that it was the first kind of game to do that 4-person thing that Nintendo then really ran with, like for a lot of their Mario games. But
Rayman's underrated.
Well, they changed the art style.
They
changed the art style for Rayman Legends, and Rayman Legends art style was fucking unbelievable. Even in those days, it looked great.
Yeah, I reckon.
So then they changed it. I'm like, oh, of all things,
underrated franchise, and it's what Sonic should have been.
It was what Sonic should have become, at least in 2D space. But now that I think 2D Sonic has found its feet again, like with all the .emu stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah, it took a while, but yeah,
it did.
2 new Cuphead games are coming.
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was the one show I missed, was Summer Game Show. So I was on the plane at the time. But apparently there's 2 games and a cartoon or something.
One of them is an 8-bit cartridge.
Yes.
Sega Master System.
Yep, Master.
I love that stuff. I really do. I think because that's a real test. Apparently it's written entirely in assembler, and that is god level programming. If you're writing a game in assembler, you know what you're doing. Hats off to
you. That is, we made so much money. I can literally sit here in my cave for 6 months and emerge.
That is just a project done for fun.
God, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
And it's always funny when everyone says, when they do these kind of retro. I'm sure there's a term for it, like these retrofit projects.
Like retro, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they always pick Sega consoles, and everyone wonders why. And I remember talking to Yuzo Koshiro when he came over for the Game Expo, and I would argue that his first true love in this world is the Mega Drive sound chip.
Oh, really?
Well, he said that he goes, I will still make music in that sound chip because I think, for what I like to do and how I like to express my art, it is.
I should do
it's versatile. It's versatile. It sounds good. But everyone always knows the one advantage Mega Drive had was how good the sound chip was. Like that was that's why they've got so many iconic soundtracks, and that's taken nothing away from Nintendo in that era. But like realistically, the sound chip in the Mega Drive was phenomenal. Like,
Okay. I assumed everyone didn't make modern retro games on Nintendo platforms because of legal.
Well, I mean, that's also the other
Because
part of it,
Nintendo,
right? Yeah, Sega ain't going to sue you for a platform they don't even support anymore.
yeah.
Whereas, yeah,
So Sega Master System cartridge, a Cuphead game. That is cool. Another one I'd love to have a look at
yeah.
because if you're writing that stuff in assembly, you're
Well,
a god programmer.
I've got my
You
own
really
Master
are.
System. That's the kind of thing I would drag it out of storage for just to check how it plays, right? Like,
Mm.
yeah,
Now what's another
the
one?
second the second game, like, yeah.
I don't know. I did not
You
actually
didn't
at
pay
that
attention.
point.
You
I
only
didn't
care
even
about
pay
that one.
attention.
You didn't care.
I
Yeah,
saw
you
a
were
Sega
done.
Master System and
You were done. Like, you were reaching for the tissues at that
yeah,
point.
I
Yeah,
lost it.
yeah.
Yeah, how did my pants get over
Yeah.
there? So anyway, okay, quickly Steam Deck stuff,
Yes.
or Steam stuff. So Steam Decks now cost $300 more.
Mm.
Um,
Which is unfortunate because they were $1,000 for the base model. I want to
they're a
say.
luxury item now.
Yes.
They're for
Yeah.
rich gamers. So if
Yeah.
you can either buy a small island off Albania or a Steam Deck.
Yeah. It's it's so funny that
When you're on your
yeah,
Rothschilds yacht.
the Kushners and Ivanka are escaping to Albania of all places.
I'm sure Kush has got a Steam Deck at this
Yeah.
price.
But imagine if you went
Maybe a
to
Trump deck and it's like solid
I
gold.
guess if you go Albania, you're still potentially under the NATO net. Whereas if you did it in Serbia, it's like Putin could just say, "I will take that."
There's
Yeah.
there's way more going on there, but there always is
Oh
with
yes,
those people. But yeah,
but yeah, no, yes, very. It's yeah. Maybe it'd be nice to have some uninteresting times for a while. I'm not gonna lie. It'd be nice to just
yeah,
be
may you
there.
live in interesting times, the
Yeah.
Chinese. So Steam Deck and Steam machines
So
apparently still coming this summer, which means winter for us,
yeah, so
which is now.
yeah, which is coming up in the next month or two.
I don't think they're going to make that.
Yeah, because they did like a post about it on Steam, and they were talking about how the power of it and stuff like that, and it doesn't seem like it's particularly that much more.
I'll give you my theory.
Well, basically, yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, I'm usually I'll be the first to pull up conspiracy theories you say that I don't think are true, but I think the one about there's being some, like, I think it's a happy coincidence, but they've definitely leaned into it. The coordinated attack on Steam once they realized that RAM was fucked. So,
Okay,
yeah.
here's my
Here
theory.
we go. Here we go.
Okay,
Drum roll.
the Corsair is now using Chinese chips
Yeah.
in their RAM. They used to only use Micron, Samsung, and the other one.
Yeah.
So
THCP or whatever it is.
CXMT, I didn't even bother writing down
Yeah.
what that stood for, DDR5 RAM. So my theory is that Steam is waiting to see what the Chinese RAM's like,
Yeah.
and if it will work, and they're going to run with that.
Yeah.
My theory is they were cut off from Western RAM, Taiwan RAM.
Which is interesting because Corsair is based out of Taiwan, and I know that for sure.
They're just putting the chips in, and they all got screwed basically by
Yeah.
Altman. And Altman's deal was non-binding,
Yes.
which was kind of dumb. But anyway,
Well, that's why RAM's dropped down again now because they're like, we're not going to fulfill. Like,
I think they're my theory is that Steam went, all right, we'll use the Chinese RAM, we'll wait, see what it's like. And that's where it's at the moment, and that's what the delay is.
And keep in mind that like a very core part of Corsair's business. Obviously, they've got the mice and the peripherals and stuff like that, but it is like cases and actual PC components.
Yeah.
Like they've still got that reputation.
PC case,
Every PC case I know that's not like some specialty one is Corsair because they make a good case. It's like certain things you go to certain people.
Stephnie's got a Corsair case too.
Yeah. Prospect, I'm pretty sure as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So okay, and the other one, Chinese company. A Chinese company has made basically China's first GPU. Now, here's a bit. People have tested it, and they reckon it's on par with a 3060.
I mean, look, that's for
first go
for an entry level card.
It took Nvidia like 15 years to get to that level, and a 3060 has ray tracing in that, right? That was the first RTX card. So we're talking China's decided to get into that business, and this is something you can expect from China all the time now. I reckon is they got in and they've jumped straight to 3060 level performance. Imagine what they're going to be pumping out in 5 years.
Yeah.
There will not be Nvidia. Better stay in AI.
Yeah, well, I mean, and this is that funny part with Nvidia. Like, I mean, it's been the carousel. It's been the hot potato of who's going to be left holding the baby when the AI bubble bursts, right? And so
pension funds.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's going to be the American taxpayer, but
and probably potentially our super.
Yeah,
because depending what happens in our elections, the Yanks want our super so bad.
It's $4 trillion just sitting there.
They want our super, and they want the PBS. They want it gone, and we dodged I'm going to have to zap myself. We dodged a bullet in that last election.
Yeah. And if we screw it up this time, like it's going to have to be like it's. We're going to have to, really quantify
Because the
actually.
worldwide smash and grab is on,
Yes.
and at the moment
Well, because I know
we've
that. Well, I mean, you've seen him. He's fallen asleep, literally sitting there now. Like,
he's a front man.
yeah,
My wife's theory is he's the only person they could get who they knew would have absolutely no morals or
yes,
qualms about what they wanted to do.
yeah,
And so he's basically been told, you can steal whatever you want. Just let us do our
yeah,
worldwide smash and grab.
yeah.
Anyway, that's my wife's
No, no,
theory. I
no.
think it's a good
I mean,
theory.
yeah, I mean, she's not wrong. Like, I 100% agree. Like, it's just crazy we sit there and let this happen. Like,
Now, China's going to come to the rescue of PC gamers.
yeah.
If the first up card coming out of a
Imagine,
Chinese company is 3060.
imagine if they were the savior of PC gaming so much that all the PC gamers abandoned Bannon and that code. That would be crazy, man. Imagine that as a geopolitical move.
I
Like,
think you'll find a big shift towards China as the good guy over the next 5 to 10 years.
yeah, I feel like,
Just like you can see now in the Middle East, there's a big shift going on there about who's good and who's bad. And I'm not going to name names, but
yeah,
there's been a fundamental change.
yeah.
And I think there's going to be a fundamental change in the Asian area as
Well,
well.
I think this go. You can't serve me a topic like this and not expect this.
I'm going to zap you.
This goes to the this is the problem with what we've allowed Western democracy to become, because realistically we are throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Here we call it democracy, but anyway,
No, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like Western liberal ideals of
it's neoliberalism.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
oligarchy.
It's neo-colonialism, but like anyway. But it's like America, because they are just as bad, if not worse, than China. And now everyone just agrees on that. Like everyone agrees with it. It's not like the old days where we had to play the rules based order. It's like we've shown how flimsy the rules based order is. All it takes
Oh,
is one bad commander in chief, and it's not even a managed.
the curtain's been pulled back.
Well, it's not even a managed decline into the grave. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can see the wizard behind the curtain
Yeah,
now.
the
You know what I
curtain's
mean?
been
It's
pulled
like,
back. It can't be done. And what you see now is so many curtains have been pulled back worldwide
yeah.
that the world has changed.
It's. I mean,
There's stuff being said now openly that wasn't going to be said 5 years ago.
the master stroke, and I will give the Chinese this, is when they were out on TikTok and social media when we're having all the issues with the tariffs and trade wars and stuff like that, and all of the manufacturers like, I make this for Gucci.
Yeah,
And I can sell it to you
we all
for
kind of knew.
one tenth of the price.
Yeah,
1/10 of the price, because I just want to show
and then
you.
they started offering special deals for if you wanted to go there with a visa.
Yeah.
Um,
We and you could still get on for business, by the way,
mm,
get on a plane today, walk in the gate, 1 month visa, no questions.
my wife wants to do that.
China's
Hi,
lovely.
Liz. We can go to China.
Shanghai, Chongqing, Chongqing is unbelievable, Dermy. You know how much I love Japan and how much I go there.
Well, aren't they hiring a whole heap of Japanese advisors?
Yes.
Because what I heard was the young people in China like the Japanese aesthetic.
And culture. Well, I mean, you look
They,
at
they like how things look, so they've hired Japanese advisors to help make China look Japanese.
And also on top of that, like a lot of the game developers are getting jobs in NetEase and all these Chinese and Korean companies for that exact reason, because it's like Japan has always had that interesting aesthetic and that knows how to sell it to the world. The Korean, like the Korean,
The anime aesthetic that everyone loves.
the Koreans sell K-pop to the world. Everything that Korea does, because it is I mean, everyone talks about like the Japanese population cliff, but the South Korean one is worse. It's actually worse. Like there won't be South Koreans in 75 years because they're just not replenishing. But because they sell to the world, like it's less. Whereas Japan, it is internal industry first. It is Japan's market gets it first, and then it goes to the world. And because of that, it preserves more of its own natural identity. Whereas like now, it's like you've got K-pop people doing baseball games and in America and
Yeah.
collabs with rappers and Megan Thee
I think
Stallion.
the
and stuff.
future for those three countries will be that China, Japan, and South Korea will, as the young people come through, they will forget a lot of their animosity.
China and Japan will laugh, split North Korea and South Korea between them, and go, that's the end of it. That's the end of the conversation. I just don't think if America pulls out of South Korea, that's what happens. It's tomorrow. China and Japan's
It'll be best Korea.
And Manchuria is back on the menu, baby.
But I just see that region abandoning the white world at some point.
Yeah, but this goes, and this is what I'm saying about like Western decadence is like we cannot throw out our liberal values. We cannot throw out our pro, like not even pro gay, like just live and let live, like LGBT stance. We can't be throwing that stuff out because there are forces in the world that don't want that. Like to the biggest religions in the world, and even China to an extent doesn't want that, but China's a little bit more don't ask, don't tell. But the Americans, for all their faults, like we can do this because of the history of English colonialism and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, now that that cat's out of the bag, we can't let the guilt of that push us back into traditional values of man and woman, like all these
Well,
fucking tired old
the
conservative bullshit
that's the
values.
Holy American Empire. Yeah,
That's what a great way to phrase
well,
that.
that's Professor
Holy
Jang.
shit.
I'm a big fan of Professor Jang.
Yeah.
He says the Holy American Empire
Yeah,
is the future.
perfect.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they want to do. Like they're like, well, the only way that we can fight the caliphates is to create our own caliphate. And I'm like, yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
they never hated like Iran. They never hated China. They were jealous.
jealous.
But they didn't want to do anything good. They wanted all the worst parts of it.
Yes.
And they're like, how come the Chinese people, they can have a social credit score and that?
Yeah.
And China's going, well, we give them housing and that. And so they put up with it, right? So there's a bit of a trade off, right?
Yeah.
They understand they're under constant surveillance, but they're in a relatively safe
Yeah.
society. They've got opportunities. America goes, wait. We didn't hear anything after.
Yeah.
So,
After
total
yeah,
surveillance.
exactly. And because that is that thing, right? Like, don't get me wrong, obviously, lots of people come to Australia and things like that. And a lot of Chinese markets are unregulated for better or worse. Like, if you put melamine in the baby powder, you get shot. They know that. If you tamper with the price of vegetables, fruits and vegetables is the one thing that the Chinese like heavily mandate, right? So it's like if you get caught gouging on vegetables, you go off to the camps, right? But like you walk through Chongqing, or not even Chongqing, Chengdu and stuff like that, right? So you walk along and you see like the biggest, I think it's like the third biggest building by landmass. It's got a water park inside a mall, and it's got like all the like normal people stuff, but it really does have like a whole wing of a high end stuff in the same place. Every car's an EV, and if it's not an EV, it's an old like ICE engine. Everyone's moving towards EV because as much as I wouldn't buy a Chinese ICE car, I'd buy a Chinese electric car.
They were
Um,
always good electronics
yeah,
stuff.
and so just it's like
Yeah.
you've offered people a baseline to live. You can for 12 RMB, you can get a beer and a bowl of noodles. Your rent's either free or like you get 70-year leases, and then you can extend it and pass it on to your children. But like it always comes up for renewal.
So you put up with a little bit of government shit because life's good. In the
Well,
Western world,
life's sustainable. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like yeah,
in the Western world, they've made life as hard as possible
yes,
for so many people,
and then
and then they want to introduce all the stuff they have to put up with as well, which
yes,
won't work.
you don't have the trade off. You
And
don't.
that's why you're going to have to
You
build
don't. You
data
don't.
centers, monitor
Yes,
everybody, tightly control your population,
correct.
make sure only certain people can succeed and get jobs.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to tightly, because otherwise, if you don't keep those screws really hard on everybody, you've got a social problem, which
And
you'll have anyway.
And then if one of the vassal states turns around and says, you know what, maybe we'll just dial back some of the housing stuff, you get a campaign of unbelievable magnitude against very sensible and straightforward changes to a system that was always corrupt.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey, last one.
what did we start with? Ram. That was started with Ram.
We don't have okay. Well, I have one last story, and I wanted to talk about this one. I don't know how we'll
Yeah.
go in 13 minutes.
Yeah,
Though,
that's
right?
fine.
Okay, and these three games here that are related, and I'm going to quickly mention them.
And then I'm going to guess, am I?
No, I just think we need to. I just think there needs to be a proper,
Okay.
mature discussion about these. Right?
Why are we doing it then?
God of War now has a girl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they always had a girl. It's his wife, and it's just her in the afterlife.
Pragmata had a daughter.
Pragmata, yeah.
And Mixtape, I won't say what that has.
So,
Mixtape has really cringy, obnoxious characters.
Mixtape is numb. Like it's so funny. They're like, "Oh, it's made by an Australian dev." I'm like, "I could fucking told you that." Like,
Okay,
it's so yeah.
Can we? Okay, now we need to. I'll start with Mixtape because Pragmata. I think Pragmata there's a lot of fuss about, and I'm going to say as a dad, in this current world where you see all the stuff that happened with Trump and his friends on that
Yeah.
island, and for everybody to get so now I haven't played Pragmata, but I watched all this stuff pretty closely about it. And people are going, "Oh, look, it's a little girl with a father figure and all that." I I actually would suggest that in this day and age, anything we can do to have healthy father figure,
Yeah.
young girl relationships is a good thing,
Yeah.
and we should never try and dismiss it.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell from what I've read, Pragmata is that. And I think everybody needs to calm the fuck down because there is so much stuff going on that is hideous
Yeah.
in this world and has been done by people in power. And you look at some of the other stories you hear around the place. We need
Yeah.
examples for, and I hate saying it, it really troubles me. We need examples for men
Yeah.
how to deal with young girls that doesn't involve violating them. And so I would say Pragmata delivers that.
Yeah.
It needs to be
And
played.
and it
It
also
needs to and stop, and people can stop being idiots about it,
and
please.
it also doesn't have to be. And this is the thing. That's why people love Joel, because it is that traditional patriarchal bullshit with him and Ellie. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Mm.
like, and you can sit there and go, I understand him as a character, and that's why it works, and all that. I can understand his choice, even if I disagree. Like all that stuff works. But then you see the criticisms of two, and it is such vapid. Like it's just so vapid, and it's just Joel should, like, oh, she didn't know any better. But I'm like, well, no, no. The whole conversation is around agency. And if you're not going to give women agency in media, then what the fuck are we talking about?
Any good
Like,
example we can give right
yeah,
now, I think the world desperately
I,
needs.
I,
There's a problem. There's a problem, and I hate
yeah.
even thinking about it. There is a big problem in the world
So
right now.
can I, like, I'm usually very supportive of my glitch crowd. I'm very protective of them, very supportive of them. But I will say there has been some elements lately, even in that crowd. I'm like, oh, well, hang on, am I dealing with Gen X's or Gen Z's here? What the fuck's going on? Like, it seems like like I would argue the millennials, we're all called the soft boys, but I'm like, I think we're the fucking better humans. Like X and like kind of later X and millennials, they're the ones that kind of get it. The Zoomers are just, some of them are fucked, man. Some like and I always try and bring up the good examples. Every time I talk to, I bring up the good examples. But I'm like, some of the stuff I've heard recently, I'm like, brother, like that shit doesn't fly here. I'm like, you can't play that game in my house, and if you want to go do it fucking somewhere else. But that doesn't help because, and this goes back to the point I made for ages about, because I love talking about labor. Dan Rippercholi, he is doing so much for rural men's mental health, because if he gets through to 10 people with his message of, hey, just get your prostate checked, no one gives a fuck, mate. You know what I mean? Like, just go stay.
It's a blood test now. You don't even need.
Yeah, stay healthy for
You
your
don't even
kids.
need the dinner date. It's
Yeah,
just a blood test.
stay.
I get it done every year. Well,
Yeah,
actually, every 2 years
yeah.
because it's free.
Stay healthy for your kids. Like
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Like, yeah, make the jokes if you want, but like stay healthy for your kids, because the best thing you can be to them is in their life and blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's all. I think that it is coming back around a little bit, and I think there's a little bit of a cultural delay. And I think if Trump hadn't gone in, we would have been in a better place with it. But like, men are just not ceding that space to young men anymore. Like, because we were letting them listen to the Rogans and the Petersons and all this, and they were offering them community, and they were offering them
Yeah, they need.
they're offering them answers, and it's like it doesn't need to be good answers.
But
It
they
just
were.
needs to be answers.
This is the thing. We talk about this about the manosphere.
Yeah,
Louis Theroux thing. I saw
yeah,
Louis Theroux interviewed about that, and he actually went in further detail. And he said basically, they're just salesmen, and they're
yeah,
being used as salesmen by finance companies
yes,
and by that. And all they are is they're selling a message. And this is the problem with salesmen. Salesmen are always really good at the message. They
yeah,
always know what the problem is.
yeah,
It's just what they're selling you is
yeah.
maybe not the
No, the
solution.
solution, and
Um,
because that's exactly, you can even see it like with dating coaches and stuff on Instagram and things like that. It's like you're identifying a problem that's real, but your answer is fucking stupid. Like, why am I listening to
yeah.
you? You know what I mean?
Anyway, if we can have a game with a healthy relationship between a grown man
Yeah,
and a young girl,
yeah,
I think the world needs that.
and
I think
yeah,
we desperately need it more than we realize.
yeah,
I'm all for it.
yeah,
And some of the commentary about it was really disappointing.
yeah.
But yeah, we do need to embrace
Pragmata,
things like that.
I think like it was. I will say one thing: like, Pragmata being a Capcom game, it's always kind of a smaller market, but it really was a dark corner of that particular market. Because have you seen? Did you see the takeovers of some of the Capcom pages and some of the related?
Look, there's going to be weirdos.
Yeah,
It's going to be weirdos, but
there's always going to be egg
you
right?
can only judge Capcom on the game they made.
Yeah, and then Pragmata was fine. Like, it was a good game and it had good messages, and yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah.
think the other one is mixtape. Now, mixtape, we need to. Okay, where do we start with this? Right? Okay,
I haven't played it,
I'm not the
but
audience.
I'm not the
I
audience,
want to
and
be clear. I'm not the audience.
so uninteresting to me.
And the characters look so shit,
And
right?
it's riffing on a nostalgia for that audience that they weren't even alive for. Like, it's crazy to look at them.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to be like 90s grunge. I'm like, I was fucking 9 years old when that
Okay.
shit
Now,
was going on.
now let me do a disclaimer. If there was a game like Mixtape and it was full of 80s music,
Yeah,
like Dragon, Duran
yeah,
Duran,
yeah,
Spandau Ballet and that, I'm all over it,
yeah,
right? And I would give it 10 out of 10.
yeah,
Every moment. You know what I'm like. I'm
yeah,
hopeless. That's why I love Stranger Things early series because
yeah,
there was all this 80s stuff, right? So I get that. And I think for the right person, that's a 10 out of 10 game,
yeah,
right? My problem with it is, though, the game is based around the music. The
yeah,
music is the central theme
yeah,
of the game. The music, they have perpetual licenses for the music,
yeah, cool.
which costs up to $500,000 a song.
Yeah.
They're not cheap. It's
Yeah.
not cheap to buy music, right? The game was basically bankrolled by, well, there's $90,000 from the Victorian government, but
Yeah.
the studio is at Annapurna,
Yeah.
is owned by Larry Ellison's daughter.
Elsa's daughter. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you got the sixth richest man in the world, depending on what day it is.
Yeah.
So my problem here is the indie aspect.
Yeah.
Now, I get
Well, I
it's
mean,
in
me and Jack have this conversation all the time. What is an indie game?
yeah, and I think that's a fair conversation. I get it's an indie game,
Yeah.
but it can't be put forward for indie game awards
Yes.
because the central part of the game is the music.
Yeah.
Without the music, it's just a boring video, and the music could only happen because of the money behind
I'm
it.
just imagining, those late night ads you used to get for like, oh, you can buy this CD with all these great songs. It'd be like,
I bought them. I bought the
I know
80s
you
one.
did, I bet.
It's like about 60 CDs. And one would come every week, and I fucking loved it. This one.
And look, I agree because they're doing the James Gunn thing, right? And James Gunn does it very well. Like but he ties it to theme. You know what I mean? I feel like he makes a movie and goes, what song would soundtrack this very well, and he does it in that kind of reverse order. I feel.
And look, that can be really good, but my point is, it can't be put forward for Indie Awards because it would be unfair for that to beat an indie game where you meet the indie devs at places like the Game Expo, and they're mostly people that one of the guys I spoke to has been living for 6 months off his wife's money, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not quite the same as having Larry Ellison's daughter.
Yeah. Correct, bankroll. Well, and it is funny, even
and nothing against the developer. The developer did a good job. The game is not for me.
Yeah.
The characters are so obnoxious. It's the sort of person I look at the game and I think I really hope they die because they're so bad, right? But I will disclaimer: if that game had 80s music, it would be a 10 out of 10 for me because I'm a sucker for that. So I can see why some people it's 10 out of 10. So that's my issue with it.
So it is interesting. As much as I love Bit Summit, and I really do, you can definitely see the scramble, and it's becoming. It's like South Park did it years ago with the what's that thing? The one in Aspen, the Sundance Film Festival, and you can see like it's the analog for Robert Redford, blah 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 blah, and it starts off and it's just like a little country town because they want to get away from Hollywood, and you see it become the machine. And Bit Summit has been around for 14 years, and it's done a good job of not becoming the machine. But suddenly,
it's a matter of time.
I love the guys who run that show, and they've done such a great job of keeping that true creative element there, the stuff that I love going to see, and I hope they can do it for all fucking eternity. But money always wins eventually, so it's just gonna be hopefully.
Also, the original people move on, and
hopefully
new people in.
Hopefully, it never becomes GDC. But and this is not said as a criticism of the event because I love the fact they've even managed to hold it this long. But whatever help they need to keep those forces at bay, I am on board. I'm a space monkey 100% for that one. So yeah, no questions asked.
Hey, can I go for a little story about Annapurna?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you've seen this story of it's real easy to see all the cutscenes.
Yeah,
it's an entire cutscene, a mixtape, right? It's about an obnoxious little white girl.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to burn the thing down if my dad doesn't let me do anything, right? It's pretty cringe. 25 staff, all of them,
Yeah.
at Annapurna back in September 2024 walked out.
Yes.
Do you remember the story?
Yep.
Do you remember why they walked out?
It was to do with unionizing or something like that, wasn't it?
Also, the lady running the studio.
Oh yes. It was a whole thing with the boss. It was. She wanted to. Oh, I can't remember exactly.
She wanted more creative control.
That's right. She wanted. Yes. I remember.
Okay, this is where I'm going to go with this game, right?
Right.
Okay, so you've got a really, really wealthy girl.
Yeah, I mean, literally.
And now you've got a game where it's fully under her creative control, and it's about a white girl who's rebelling against her dad.
Yeah.
And my dad has,
Queen.
Yeah, okay. And so, all right, is there a little bit of inserting in there?
Yeah, self inserts. I mean, that's a classic, right?
Here's my thing with the game, and I think they've missed an opportunity, right? Okay, that's good. You can make a little game about the rich girl rebelling against the dad. Good on you, right? It's not a story. We talked about how rich people are. Okay, I would have liked a Last of Us 2 style turnaround. Let's play the game after that, where she holds up the lighter, says she didn't really, but says she burnt down the shack, and the cops just let her go.
Yeah.
Let's play that again. It's an Australian game. Let's do it again as an Indigenous person,
I
right?
mean, this is
Let's do the
classic.
same game again.
Yeah.
Let's see, because you can be a rich girl and you can have your games made the way you want, right? But you don't live the same life as everybody else. Let's do it.
This is New Game Plus goes woke. Fucking hell, yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that game. You should have
Yep.
done that as let's play the Abbey arc there, and let's do that now. As somebody who's
That
not
was
little,
that was dangerous. The
let's
Abbey arc.
let's do let's do that as not a little rich white girl
Yeah.
whose dad's a cop,
Yeah.
right? Let's do that as say an Indigenous person, and let's see how every scenario in that game plays out.
Completely
Let's
different.
see how it goes,
So-
because that is a story a game can tell, and that to me is a missed
So
opportunity.
this is
Because I don't care about rich girls.
no. So and that's
I really
like,
don't.
like
Oh
I said,
no, but dad,
why-
I told my dad I could do whatever I want, and now I get to go place. Oh, whatever.
it's to me that's the interesting part because people talk about like the Little Mermaid stuff and things like that, and it's not like, oh, you're ruining Little Mermaid for grown men. It's like, no, it just denies non-white voices an opportunity to tell his stories. That was why it's like as much as
They don't tell their stories; they tell our stories.
correct, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, look at that, we've solved it. We've just made you boring.
Yeah,
white
we
people.
absorbed them into our culture and our stories.
And
We're not telling
that's
theirs.
America. You want to talk about the
Yeah.
melting pot and the mosaic?
Yeah.
That's the melting pot.
We're not letting them have their culture.
Correct.
We're making them part of our culture.
And that
That's
was
an
like South.
appropriation.
I liked South of Midnight. I liked all those games that do those, like, not even indigenous stories, but those particularly unheard of stories really well. And there was a great movie. Well, the movie was okay in general, but the one thing it touched on really well was it was this indigenous girl, and it's like a family curse, like during the rabbit proof.
Oh, that game. Yeah.
No, it's a movie. It's a movie.
Oh, okay, there was a game about that though. What's
There was
announced recently? Yeah.
yeah. But and so basically the auntie goes missing, but it turns out it's like it's a horror movie, but it's based on like a character from indigenous lore, and I'm all on board for that because I think it's cool to do
That's
their own stuff.
interesting.
But one of the interesting ones was her husband is also an indigenous fellow. She gets adopted out by white people, and so the parents are good to her, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, and you see the mother who is overbearing and is pushy and is blah blah, but she's not wrong in a lot of ways. And so they do the interplay of the two cultures really well. And then there's this really good scene where they're driving away, they're trying to escape with the mum and the baby because she just postpartum, right? Because it's like, and it's just showing the lack of understanding of the different struggle. And so they're driving away. The coppers pull up. It's like, oh yeah, what do you know, like, and they do the sheriff thing, like the country town sheriff, but they do it in an honest way, not in a what you doing in my town, boy. It's not that. It's just like, oh yeah, what are you in town for, mate? Like they're trying to be your friend. And it's not like it reminds me more of Brian Dennehy.
It's more insidious than it.
It's more Brian Dennehy and Rambo rather than that kind of I don't like your top wearing here. It's just like
that's just like,
how about I drive you through town and you go on, like, but then they pick him up and so she has to run and fight this monster by herself because they pick up her husband because he's a black fella in a country town that he's not supposed to be in. And I'm like, and granted he had the APB out, but it's like, but they only stopped because it was him, you know what I mean? And so it's like it does a really good job of going down that line pretty well of how is this different to a standard killer, a thriller killer, you know what I mean? It's just a little, it's different because of the nature of the people involved, and I think that's really that's why I'm more annoyed about the Little Mermaid stuff. It's not because it's like, oh, they're stealing our you know, my Little Mermaid story. It's like, no, but let them tell their stories. Like I want to hear.
They're not stealing Little Mermaid. We're stealing Little Mermaid, stealing them.
Correct. Exactly. What is
and erasing their culture.
Correct. And that's what bothers. And don't get me wrong, like, you know, we can have the cultural argument. There's things from every culture I don't like. There's things from every culture. There's always something from a culture I can take and I like from it. But I still think it's important to have that diverse lexicon of stories. I mean, we're fucking Irish. You know what I mean? Like, how long have they spent trying
our
to
culture? The English spent a lot of time erasing our culture.
Yeah,
they worked really, really hard.
Yeah. So
there's a really good Sinead O'Connor. Have you seen that? Her speech about that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's hard to watch.
And keep in mind, like, you know, we've been accepted in the fold because they knew that we could be the rabble rousers because we're the daywalkers. We could get away with it. But at the same time, there's nothing that infuriates me more than seeing on Facebook's like a McNamara or something with an Irish or a Scottish name talking about, you know, oh, why did they just like settle for blind? I'm like, brother, like they barely considered you a human 150 years ago. Like, just shut your fucking mouth.
No, my dad had to catch a different bus.
My nan did as well. Same difference. Yeah.
And Americans go, it's not bullshit. That was just a black person. No, that happened to Irish Catholics in Australia
the indigenous,
in the time my father was alive.
Like we've said a lot, the
like post World War II.
The indigenous struggle here is more akin to the Native American struggle. And the closer one to the Black Shell, and it's not the same, and I'm not even trying to imply that, is closer to Irish. It's taken halfway around the world and made to work in the fields. The difference is the Irish could eventually buy themselves out ish, whereas blackfellas you were
Look,
yeah.
it's not the same,
But we should understand that struggle more. We should be more sympathetic to.
well,
And that's have you
and
seen
that's
it?
what happens. That's why Ireland has a particular view of the Middle East
Have you seen the interesting one recently with the guy from the Cork politician? It was a couple of months ago now, but he was like a politician in Cork, and he's like 140 pages, like it's just like gone full Irish. And my Irish accent was awful then,
Mm.
but like all the Jamaicans are like, hang on, hang on, why is he speaking like a Jamaican? I'm like, time to learn about history, I guess, because the English didn't want to work the field, so it was the Irish and the Jamaicans, and that's why all of your surnames are. It's the same in Australia. All the Indigenous surnames, McLaughlins and stuff like that, and that's not for any other reason than it's the Irish and the Scottish and the Italians would marry, and like to think of Cirioli and all that. Rioli's not an Indigenous name. I mean, Cyril's not an Indigenous name anyway, but like it comes from they're the only ones who are out there and work in the fields in the thing because they were the lesser names. Anyway, moral story is I 100% agree with you. I feel like raising those like we've got
tell their stories. Games are a good way to tell this. I've always been on this. The game's a good way to tell Indigenous stories in an interesting way.
And not in a tokenistic way.
But also, don't tell rich girl stories.
Yeah.
Because sorry, rich people aren't interesting.
And don't tell rich boy stories.
Well,
My
dad is so strict.
That ain't a slight at women. That's a slight at just well, because like you
rich kid stories.
You haven't lived a life, so you don't understand. And it's like, and that's not to say that you can't be an artist.
And that was definitely that game was an insert. Nothing against it. Nothing against the game. Oh, another thing I'd like actually.
God of War, go on. Yeah. No, go on. Go on.
I won't worry about that. Doesn't matter. Everyone's upset. I don't give a fuck.
Well, the God of War one's
she's
stupid.
a god. I mean, it's like if you put a girl in Deus Ex, they're robots, right? There's a point where you go, okay, we're men are stronger than women. Well, if they're gods, they're probably not. I'm tipping.
We're having a different conversation.
God.
And that's what I've always said. Like that was why I didn't like Prey, because you had a teenage girl beating down an older teenage boy with physical strength. So I'm like, no.
But if you're a god, you could.
Exactly, you've made it magic. Now that you've made it magic, you can be whatever.
It's not real. Yeah. But okay. Now I was going to say on the mixtape thing. Firstly, needs to be said over and over again. Review scores are dumb.
Yeah,
it really does show.
I always hated doing review scores. I always try to.
New Game Plus doesn't do it. I know Qualbit doesn't do it. Look, 10 out, it gets you on the box cover. Yeah. That's why they do it. Yeah. Let's be honest. But really, a 10 out of 10 for mixtape. To the right person, it is a 10 out of 10. I won't deny that, just like if his 80s music would be for me. But it's not the same as a 10 out of 10 that Last of Us got.
Yes.
Or Helldivers got a few, right? Yeah. It's not the same effort went in. Numeric scores are dumb. The other one, I've got to say, and I have to say all the time, can video game journos, whatever you want to call yourself, just don't fight with the internet. It's just so dumb.
Just look,
you know what? Did you know the world's full of dickheads?
Yeah, and now they've got access to
stop acting surprised. Yeah. Can we just stop acting surprised? Oh, you feel like a big fucking hero. Like you just every time you just look stupid. You're not going to beat them.
Yeah, you're right.
just stop fighting with the internet.
They'll drag you to their level and beat you with experience.
Yeah, Oh, sorry. I know you don't like me saying that.
No. I'm just saying, I'm saying the journos just don't worry about it.
Look, you can't control internet randoms, but you can control yourself. Have a bit of class.
That's
if people disagree with your review, they disagree with your review. Whatever. You're the one writing the review. They're not. Just deal with that.
If I can offer 2 bits of advice from someone who used to have some blah 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 blah. If you wouldn't take their advice, you don't worry about their criticism. Like, it's good to know your audience, but it's also that thing of, and put the amount of effort in that someone puts into you. If someone just goes, "You're a fucking loser because of this," or "I hate those fucking shit," it's like, okay, then you don't have to give them any attention. But if someone says, "With your review of such and such," what would, like, if they put a bit of effort in, and it's up to you whether you engage. Like, I've had people email me on stuff, and we vehemently disagreed, but they were cordial, they were polite, and they genuinely wanted to hear what I had to say. So I'll give them the time. Pick your battles. Like, there are so many bad faith actors in this one. That's how sea lining works. They want you to correct bad faith narratives, and they just flood the zone with bullshit. I mean, that's the banner. Flood the zone with shit, right? And
just ignore it.
Brother. Just like find the right ways to address it. And if not, like, I mean, I always feel bad for people. Like, imagine how thick Alana's skin would have to be. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, she's got a lot of people who support her, and she's as popular. She should be more popular than she is, but the amount of people who fucking go in on it, and I'm
Oh,
like,
I'll tell you after what they're going after over now. I'll
ah,
tell you after the podcast. I'm not mentioning during the podcast.
yeah, and she'll always be a friend of the show. That
Yeah.
there's no,
Oh, smart lady. She always has something valuable to say. I
yeah,
always like watching what she does.
yeah, and,
Yeah,
and
it's
even if I
great.
disagree with her take, I know that she's earnest, and I think that's the one thing this world is missing at the moment is just earnest
Thoughtful, be
interactions.
thoughtful.
And it's been interesting to watch the shift back. I would say in the last 6 months since Trump, because we realized this problem ain't going away unless we make it go away. People have started really aiming towards that again. Like a lot of people are doing little catch ups and community meetups and learning practical skills together and going back to the old days. Like, do you know how hard it is to find like a real standard kind of entry level dance class nowadays? It's not like some weird like sign up for 3 months. I'm like, I don't want to sign up for 3 months. I want to learn how to do this.
Everything's a subscription
Yeah,
because then when you sell the
yeah,
business, yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
It-
I think that's one
oh,
thing.
okay, yeah. I just wanted to say that.
No, no, I think we've definitely proven our
Mixtape looks stupid, but I'm not the audience.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I wouldn't play it. It's just not my kind of game.
Good 80s
If
music,
if
I
you
love it.
if you get anything out of it, that's great, and I'm glad that I'm glad Zoomers have their games, but I'm just like I look at them like it's not really a Zoomer game, is it?
It's
Like
cringe as fuck.
I agree. That's how I know I'm old because I look at them like you couldn't convince me to play it, but like yeah. Have you been playing anything? We didn't do. Have you been playing any games lately?
I'm back on Minecraft and Command and Conquer Generals, but also Steffi, if you're listening, like
Mod.
a Shockwave mod for Command and Conquer Generals 0 hour, and it's awesome. Steph, check it out. Shockwave for Command and Conquer Generals. You'll love it.
I've been away.
So good.
Mouse PI is a pretty good game if you get a chance.
Oh,
to
I saw
play
that. That
it.
looked cool.
It's very good. I've enjoyed it. It's a pretty standard kind of shooter experience, but I love the story. I love the world. Looks great. All that kind
Yeah,
of
it does
stuff.
look awesome.
Now I'm home. I'm back on the dive.
There's still new ideas. Every time you think there's still new ideas.
And it doesn't again. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to make the wheel interesting, and that's
Yeah.
No, I downloaded a bunch off Game Pass the other day. What was I playing? Oh, Ball versus Pit. Oh my god, I get why people play goddamn Ball versus Pit, man. Like it's I get. I'm always late to the memes, but now I get the memes. The memes are very legitimate on that game. So, there's your end of the video game thing. Let's bail there. Thank you for listening.
1 out of 10.
Let us know about the one thing I'm interested in is feedback from people with regards to the technical stuff. I think I've fixed a couple of the problems. It's coming through our headphones all right. I'm gonna master it out a little
He
bit
does
higher.
like my microphone.
Your microphone's better now, but like I said, I'll get you a proper thing for it. But no, I'm interested to make it good. And
Are we
I've
going
got
to do video like you did it?
yes,
You did it with your little floozy in Japan.
that was his doing.
He does look better than me.
Fluffed it. He
I'll
fluffed it.
give
To
you
be fair.
that.
But no, I do want to install a camera again, and even if we go back to the old live stream days and do it that way. But if not, even just to record it and have a video.
We used to
so
record
put
on our
YouTube.
phone.
Yeah, but it looked okay. I think Jack's one looked okay. Like even if we just had two set up, I could just live mix it anyway.
Looked okay because Jack was on it.
Yeah. Well, the other options I could always give. Anyway, I've got solutions.
He was in the foreground, you in the background.
Yeah. Well, that's the angle. But
cardboard cutout of him and just put him.
yeah,
My spot is.
I'm telling all the major stakeholders of New Game Plus this, and I'll tell you this is the first time I'm telling you this.
Ooh.
Talk me out of making more TV. Because at the moment I'm making steps towards doing it. I've just got to figure out my format, but I think I have it, and I think I know what I want to do. But I just talk me out of it because I really don't have the time at the moment. But I've started doing little YouTube, Instagram shorts. So New Game Plus TV on Instagram.
You did do the longest running Australian video game
I know.
TV show. It was
right?
on broadcast TV.
I still remember when I did that Corsair event. It's me and Bingo on stage. No, I shouldn't say Bingo. Me and Barjo on stage.
Still, I work with him now, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to say that.
And we'll work and and then someone took a photo and sent it to me. Go, nature is healing because it's like the two of the main hosts of the two big game shows of the last. Yeah, it was like it's a crossover episode. But no, I got a lot of time for Barzo.
Marvelous Capcom.
Yeah, they're gonna take you for a ride. Yeah,
Where's Jung?
Yeah.
I did Jung in my podcast. That was a crossover. I did it first.
Yeah,
I had the good one. Hi, Barjo.
Let's not.
Oh, it's Kapowski.
Yeah, our robot just does social media now. Cool. On that note, let's wrap it up. Thank you everyone for listening. Again, please give us your feedback. Because I've got the hankering to come back, and I think there's a gap in the market now for thoughtful conversation. Not that ours are necessarily thoughtful. We're going to get called woke if people listen to it, but that's okay. I've had.
Oh yeah, I'm woke now.
Yeah. On that note, we'll speak to you all later.